good evening. Welcome to Prime TV News on Wednesday, the 28th of November, with me, Iftia Abdul Kader. Your headlines first. Commission report on public salaries presented to the President. Chief of Defence Staff remanded. Interim vote of account gets cabinet approval. Minister Udaya Gammanpilla urges to correct Hansard records. And on news overseas, 22 killed at a chemical plant blast in China. Those were your headlines, and now for the news in detail. The International Symposium and the ICT exhibition organized by the Sri Lanka Army Signals Corps in line with its 75th anniversary commenced at the BMICH under the patronage of President Maithripala Sirisena. The President was welcomed by Defence Secretary Hemasiri Fernando and Army Commander Lieutenant General Mahesh Senanayaka. Themed Cyberspace Perpetual Battle Front for Future, the International Symposium exhibits modern and sophisticated electronic and IT innovations. The exhibition was declared open by the President. He also undertook a tour in the exhibition site. The exhibition is open for the public tomorrow as well. IT experts from foreign countries including England, Russia, China and India also represent at the symposium. The inaugural session of the symposium was held under the aegis of President Maithripala Sirisena. The President was presented a memento. Meanwhile, the report of the Special Presidential Commission to review public sector salaries was handed over to President Maithripala Sirisena at the Presidential Secretariat. The chairman of the commission, S. Ranuge, presented the report to the President and other members of the commission also present on the occasion. The President appointed the special commission to make recommendations to provide solutions to minimize salary anomalies in the public service while focusing on the existing salary circulars in relation to the salaries and allowances of the public service employees. President Sirisena proclaimed the establishment of this special commission according to a decision taken at the Cabinet on the 14th of August. The Cabinet of Ministers has granted approval for the interim vote on account for the first 4 months of the next year. The interim vote on account has been presented with the view to secure provisions for the initial 4 months of late coming year. Prime Minister Mahinda Rajapaksa, in the capacity of Minister of Finance and Economic Affairs, has submitted a cabinet memorandum in this regard. Accordingly, the entire expenditure for the said period will be 1,735 billion rupees. 760 billion rupees out of the total expenditure will be set aside for government public services and 970 billion rupees will be spent for the previously authorized expenditure by different laws. Minister Vasudeva Nanayakkara states that the interim vote on account can be agreed by everybody in the ruling party and the opposition. Minister Udaya Gammanpilla has requested the editor of Hansard of Parliament to correct the Hansard records on the 14th of this month as there are many errors. The minister, forwarding a letter to the Hansard editor, states that the incidents which took place after the voting on the 14th of this month had been recorded erroneously. He points out that a statement that was not stated by the speaker is also in the Hansard records. It was confirmed when checking a recording of live telecast on the same day. The minister pointed out that the Hansard report issued on the following day of the vote is also correct and not distorted. Accordingly, the minister has urged the Hansard editor to make the corrections in due course. Chief of Defence Staff Admiral Ravindra Vijay Gunaratne has been remanded until the 5th of next month by the Colombo Fort Magistrates Court. The Chief of Defence Staff appeared before court for allegedly protecting the chief suspect in the high-profile murder of 11 youths in 2008 and 2009. He has denied all allegations and sought bail. However, the court rejected the application and ordered that he be remanded until December 5th. The Criminal Investigations Department stated that granting bail to the suspect would undermine the investigations being carried out. Still on local news, President Maithripala Sirisena has given instructions to the relevant authorities on the implementation of a speedy procedure with stringent rules to control crimes, drug smuggling and the underworld activities. The President also stressed the need of vesting necessary powers to the relevant authorities by expediting the essential legal reforms in this regard. He emphasized this during a special meeting held at the Presidential Secretariat regarding the amendments to the bills of the controlling of drugs, crime and the minimization of road accidents. During this meeting, special attention was drawn on the legal issues pertaining to drug raids, and the President scrutinized the progress of preparing legal procedures in relation to the special procedure implemented with the assistance of the Tri-Forces on drug raids and instructed the Legal Draftsman's Department to complete those tasks within the next 2 weeks. Furthermore, discussions were held regarding making amendments for the penalties pertaining to drug offences. Attention was also drawn to the changes that should be made in the prison sector. The President emphasized the importance of all the institutions, including the Legal Draftsman's Department, fulfilling their respective duties to expedite these processes, including all legal amendments tasks, and instructed to hold a special discussion in another 2 weeks to find out the progress of these activities. During this meeting, special attention was drawn regarding minimizing road accidents, even though the Department of Motor Traffic introduced a point-based system for drivers in 2009 with the aim of minimizing road accidents. Due to the technical problems, it has not been successful, and the President also instructed to examine the possibility of implementing that method in a proper manner while removing the existing obstacles, as well as to look into the possibility of introducing paying the fines through electronic payment systems. The President has also given instructions to follow a proper procedure to monitor the driving schools while standardization of the driving schools. The Met Department announces that several spells of showers will occur in the eastern, northern, north central and Uwa provinces and in Matale and Hambantota districts. Heavy traffic congestion is witnessed in some parts of the Colombo city due to heavy rainfall. The Tumulla Junction, Kinsey Road, Ward Place and Union Place are reportedly inundated. Showers or thunder showers will occur elsewhere after 2 p.m. Fairly heavy falls, about 100 millimeters, can be expected at some places in Sabaragamur, central and western provinces. Misty conditions may occur at some places in central, Sabaragamur, western and southern provinces during the morning. There may be temporary localized strong winds during thunder showers. The general public is requested to take adequate precautions to minimize damages caused by lightning activity. Experienced and qualified professionals will be appointed as chairpersons and members of director boards in the statutory boards. The Cabinet of Ministers has given the approval for the proposal to appoint qualified professionals for key positions. A committee chaired by the Presidential Secretary will be appointed to provide recommendations in this regard. Accordingly, degree holders from Sri Lankan or foreign recognized universities or persons who possess professional qualifications along with experience in respective fields will be appointed as chairpersons or board of directors. Meanwhile, the government plans to construct 4,000 bridges to upgrade road networks in the rural areas. A proposal presented by Minister Faizer Mustafa was given approval at the cabinet meeting. Under the project, 175 bridges will be constructed in different parts of the country. The Cabinet of Ministers has also granted approval to commence 150 megawatt solar power plants and 60 megawatt wind power plants. As per the country's electricity generation plan, it is compulsory to meet 1/3 of electricity demand by non-traditional and renewable energy sources by 2030. The cabinet memorandum presented by Minister Ranjit Siambalapitiya was given approval in this connection. The new solar power plants and wind power plants need to be connected to the national grid by 2020. The Cabinet of Ministers also gave approval to a proposal presented by Minister Bandula Gunawardena to appoint a committee of experts to prepare a national market policy for the country. The committee will comprise experts from both government and private sectors. The construction work of the Matara-Beliata railway project is nearing completion. The government has identified that it is necessary to construct roads parallel to the railway lines for the benefit of residents in the areas. As a result, the Cabinet of Ministers has given approval to a memorandum submitted by Minister Nimal Siripala de Silva to construct 54 roads for the convenience of the people. The construction work will be done under the purview of Road Development Authority. You're watching Prime TV News and still on the local scene. The case filed against Samara Pulige Niraj Roshan, alias Ali Roshan, and 7 other defendants was taken up before the Permanent High Court at trial at Bar. The defendants are accused of trafficking wild elephants. The suspects have been litigated under the Fauna and Flora Protection Ordinance. The suspects have been indicted under 25 counts for keeping 4 elephants in their possession. The trial at Bar ordered the Attorney General to produce due documents from the complainants to the defendants. Accordingly, the trial at Bar also ordered to call the case again on the 5th of next month. JVP parliamentarian Sunil Handunettige states that the JVP stands by the proposal of calling a general election. The parliamentarian was speaking at a media briefing. He further stated that the economic policies of the United National Party, led by Ranil Wickremesinghe, were harmful to the country, and the island nation was trapped in a huge debt burden during the UNP administration. He pointed out that the price formula for fuel was an utter failure and a cost of living increased drastically. Sunil Handunetty stated that when asking about price formula, then Minister of Finance Mangala Samaravira joked with the general public. He added that the UNP has showcased that they cannot govern the country. He stressed that the JVP is ready to allow the room for a general election. Vasanta Samarasinghe stated that the UNP was always resorting to privatize the national assets and UNP politicians were highly corrupt. He noted that the bond scam should be investigated properly and a large sum of money was looted by the UNP politicians. The Democratic Solidarity states that the best solution for the current political fiasco is holding a general election. The representatives of the Democratic Solidarity were speaking at a media briefing held in Colombo today. Senior lecturer of the University of Colombo, Dhamma Dissanayake, said that the problem is so deep and as a short-term remedy, a general election should be called. He highlighted that country's constitution should undergo a huge change based on sound democratic principles as a long-term solution for the current political issue. Dhamma Dissanayake emphasized that the general public should take an instrumental role in formulating a new constitution. He also stressed that the country's electoral system should also be amended to avert using it for petty political agendas of the political parties. He added that they advocate for a parliament that is free from ministers. A representative from the Lanka Youth Organization, Yashoda Kapuge, said that trained people should be given the baton of politics instead of unqualified elements. She added that training is compulsory for every field and politics cannot be an exempt. She urged to include country's constitution in school curricula for better understanding about it among the future generations. Senior journalist Mohan Samaranayaka said that if the October 26th change did not happen, the previously planned constitution could have been passed, resulting a huge political crisis in the country. Mohan Samaranayaka highlighted that the most immediate solution for the current situation is calling a general election. He noted that the United States of America has labeled the Human Rights Council that brings many allegations against army personnel of Sri Lanka as a cesspool of political bias.
දේශපාලන අගතිය එක වැසිකිලි වල. ඒ වැසිකිලි වලින් තමයි අපිට නියම කරන්නේ අපේ මේ රටේ ආරක්ෂක හමුදාවලට යුද අපරාධ කරා කියන චෝදනා. සහෝදරවරුනි 945න් පස්සේ ඇමරිකාව පමණක් ලෝකේ රටවල් 70ක ඡන්දවලට මැදිහත් වෙලා තියෙනවා.
For more information, visit www.itnews.lk. Do join us once again tomorrow at 6:30 p.m. for more of the very latest on Prime TV News. Thanks for tuning in. Bye-bye.